Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve.
Oh boy, it's going to be good today.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve. My name is Joel.
And I'm Steve.
And this is a podcast.
I feel like today we should start off with some calisthenics.
Deep knee stretches.
Yeah. A couple burpees. Let's do 10 burpees.
All right.
He actually bought it.
All right, hold on.
Do you even know what a burpee is?
I don't even think I know. I did one, I think.
Look great. Oh my God. Today's podcast is brought to you by Bigelow brand Earl Grey tea.
Why are you drinking tea in the morning? This is America. You should be drinking coffee.
You know what? I'm a little unclear as to what the definition of America is these days.
That's fair.
And I did have some coffee earlier, so, you know.
Okay.
It's a little surf and turf. You know what I'm saying? A little surf and turf.
I told Steve before he hit record that I was a little... this is the demeanor you're getting today. I'm a little tired.
Why didn't you sleep well, Joel?
Well, we gave my dog a bunch of weird shit yesterday at my brother's house, so I blame my brother. And she spent the night every hour and a half waking me up to go outside to shit.
Yeah. Parenthood.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It is.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it's just, yeah. So, yeah, that's where I'm
well,
at.
Hey, dude, look at it this way. At least she woke you up to go outside.
Oh, my God. I thought about that.
You didn't wake up to what you could have woken up to.
Yeah, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that level of incontinence might happen someday in her older years. But right now, I am grateful that she insisted upon doing her business outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was literally like every, and it's weird because it's, I think over time I've learned or I've experienced that there is, you can kind of tell the difference between a dog's want. Like I could read her almost telepathically.
There was an insistence.
Yeah, there was a telepathic, like there's been times where she's just wanted to go outside because she heard a rabbit back there or a fox or something. And it's like, I'm just going to go on a patrol. This was not that. Like I could tell. And so could Kirsten that this was like, hey,
I'm having a problem.
I'm having an issue.
And
like,
if you
I don't know. It's
if
like,
you don't come help me out with this, you're going to have one too.
This is going to be a bigger problem for you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't sleep well. So I'm just kind of like,
Bum, bum, ba, boom.
mm-hmm.
Well, what's in your cup, Joel?
Coffee, straight, black, hot coffee.
American coffee.
Jitter juice. All
Jitter
of it.
juice. Love it. Does it have grounds in it? Is it like camping coffee?
It might have some jitter juice. And today's episode is brought to you by Yeti mugs. I bought myself a new Yeti
Coffee mug
with a handle so that I could drink coffee with a handle in my house and it not go cold really quickly, So it's not really a travel mug. This is to keep the coffee warm inside my house.
I mean, who takes that long to drink their coffee? That's my question.
I do. Sometimes I do.
Okay.
Like I have a podcast and I want to just leisurely sip it. And 30 minutes in, my coffee's cold.
I have something of a reputation for breaking ceramic coffee mugs.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's a thing that I do. The cool ones, like the ones that are given to me as, carefully thought out gifts. And I think that are amazing.
Yeah.
They very rarely last more than a year.
You just drop them a lot?
Yeah, I drop them, or knock them off or whatever. This one, it has a chip in it right where I like to drink. But I still drink out of it because it was a Father's Day present for me. And it's It's a dictionary. I'm in quotes dictionary entry for the word dad.
Yeah.
It's noun. One, a male parent, one's father. Two, life coach who gives the best advice, tells the worst jokes, fixes everything, and kills spiders. And three, cleverly disguised as a responsible adult.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a Father's Day thing.
You are cleverly disguised as a
A
responsible
responsible adult.
adult.
Exactly. I
It's
feel like
amazing.
that they killed it. That was really spot on. It was a gift from my daughters a couple of years ago. So despite the fact that it's chipped right where my mouth goes, I still drink out of it.
Is it maybe is that a good reminder to not drop it, maybe? Or the mug
It's a
is already
reminder.
broken.
It's a reminder that love hurts.
Love that love comes with a little cut on your lip.
That's that's exactly right. If you're
That's no
lucky.
shit.
Uh-huh.
That's no shit.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the cup is already broken, Steve.
That's right.
The
100%.
cups are
Cup
the cups are already
already
broken.
broken. Yep.
Unless you buy a Yeti. Yeti, they've solved impermanence one industrial mug at a time.
That's exactly right. If you buy the Yeti, you probably won't die.
If you buy the Yeti, suffering is over.
Well, I guess I'm heading to Dick's Sporting Goods because I think they sell them there.
Ace Hardware sells them.
Ace. Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
get some. I need to go back to
How
Ace
was
today.
that like what, 79.95?
I can't disclose nor want to
Uh,
disclose the price of this,
uh-huh.
and it was totally frivolous because I have a Yeti travel mug, like a 16-ounce one. But I'm like, oh, I
Hold on,
like
hold
that
on,
one
hold
with
on, hold on. Do you also have a Yeti t-shirt
no, no.
or a
I have
Yeti hoodie
every time you
or a
buy,
Yeti sticker on the back of your car?
I don't put it on my car,
Okay.
but I do have several Yeti stickers because every time you buy a Yeti thing, they give you a sticker. In fact, my brother 1 year for my birthday, I think, got me a Yeti koozie that I've outfitted with stickers, but keeps your stuff cold. Now this is great because I've got a can of bubbly in there in the summer, and you open a can of bubbly and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go run some errands, and you leave it in the car while you're in the grocery store, and you come back, the can of bubbly is still cold.
There's value in that.
That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Yeti
There's
solving solving suffering one piece of metal at a time.
one half drank fizzy beverage at a time. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got today.
Well, everybody, it's been good talking to you. And
Thanks for the check-in, everybody. Please follow along. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the Instagram reel that Jess, Armando's partner, made of him walking. Now, I think that was candid. I have not checked in with Armando. I think that was
that's
real.
weird.
Shut the fuck up. You know what? I'm gonna get real about this.
Okay, fine.
And I know he's listening, and I know there are dozens of other people listening because this ongoing saga of Joel being a shitty friend. You know what it is? If I did, I'm tired enough and I'm raw enough that I
Let's
think the
go.
honest
Let's go.
Armando is such a good person, and my memory of spending day in day out with Armando McLean while in grad school was life saving and life giving. Armando was a bright light of sunshine at a time where I was experiencing imposter syndrome at a level I hadn't yet experienced, while also pushing myself to learn and grow, and also not being as available to utilize the tools of recovery that I'd grown accustomed to for the first time. Armando was a presence of ease and spirituality and friendliness and kindness for 3 straight years. So and I'm getting to my point. I can count on one hand. I can count on one Jerry Garcia hand the amount of people in my life that I have that with. You are in that group,
Oh,
and Armando's in that group. And like for real, like it's so I don't know how to like I don't know how to I don't know how to do that. Like he is such a good and we are like we're not as close as we used to be.
Yeah.
Not as close as I want to be, but it's also very vulnerable for me to let in the amount of like love from that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, not having met Armando in person, I've talked to him on the pod here, and my brief interactions with him uh, via email regarding the ongoing sticker saga, and just a little video. I'm like, he's a good guy.
He's a good
That's
man.
he's a
He's a
good
good
egg.
man. He's a very good egg.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where to put that.
Put it in the good egg basket.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Put your eggs in the
Put a
good egg.
little, which is in the birdhouse in your soul.
Uh, should I leave the nightlight on inside the birdhouse in
I
my
think
soul?
so. Yes. Turn on your love light and leave it
So,
on.
Armando, just know that I hold you dear in my heart every fucking day, and I love you. And I should tell you that directly instead of indirectly on a podcast where it's way safer.
And
For
also,
whatever.
there's the ulterior motive of providing good content.
Oh yeah, Mondo, yet again, our friendship is being utilized for content. God
But
damn
hey,
it.
at least you got some stickers to show for it now.
He deserves more stickers.
So speaking of, well, this is sort of a tangent, but there are no tangents,
There are no tangents.
right? Our friend and past guest Darren Keene. Did you see his Instagram thing about the email that he got in response to requesting a gig?
Yeah, so help me unpack this
So
because
Darren posted, he, emailed or was reaching out to a bar or someplace, a club to see about a gig. And the response that he got was an email that says, Darren, we like music, but we're a business. This stuff is too non-commercial for a Friday night. Jason. So Darren made t-shirts with that email on it, and I
oh,
bought one.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
We like
that's
music, but we're a business. This stuff is too non-commercial for a Friday night.
what a you couldn't plan a better like promotional tagline for who he is as an artist.
100%. Yeah, it's like perfect. The guy just walked right into it.
But we like what is it? We like music, but this is a business.
But we like music, but we're a business.
But we're a business.
Yeah.
We like music.
We like music, but
We're a
it's
business.
just a little too commercial for a Friday night. And like, I get it. Like, if I was a club owner with a monthly nut to come up with, like running a club's a brutal business, even if you're
Yeah.
successful.
But why wouldn't you want to take a risk with somebody? You can easily find out if an artist has a following and will show and those people will show up to the show.
Yeah. No, I get it. I see both sides of the equation. I
Right.
mean, for the record, I'm firmly on Darren's side,
Yeah. But you understand
just
that.
playing, but I also know what it's like to maybe be behind on your rent payment. And I mean, that's the appeal of I'm just going to say like a cover band.
Yeah.
Somebody that's going to come in and play the greatest hits of the 90s and the aughts,
Yep. Yeah.
and that milkshake will bring all the paying customers to the yard.
And we can make rent.
Right. 100%. Like, I get that. Like,
And so art like that is hard. It's hard for art like that to thrive in a place where at the very smallest gate that's being kept, there's a financial need.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's real. Like, clubs have to pay rent
Yeah.
unless they're like, someplace like Project where that's already been taken care of and it's not very much anyway. And
Yeah.
mhm. Again,
I
back to
thought,
what we were talking about last week. That's why
right.
places like Project are so awesome because it doesn't matter.
And you can feel that in those spaces versus other spaces.
100%. Yep.
I thought you were referring to, I saw Darren post some stuff on Instagram about, he was trying to promote something. They're like, uh, I don't know, it was something about like, do you want, um, you know, we don't want 4 bands. We need 3 bands because 4 bands might be too many people or something. And he was just like, wait, what? Like, don't you want people to fill your venue? I'm butchering my sleep deprived brain is butchering the premise, so I'll stop. You can cut this out.
I'm not cutting anything out. That takes work. You know how hard it is to edit out
Oh,
things on here?
yeah, no. We have to keep our we have to keep it above board so that Steve doesn't actually have to go back and try to edit something out because
Which I think that I have done a grand total of 3 times since we've been doing this.
yeah. That's good though,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, how many times do we just go leaping across the line with glee, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, woo!
Yeah.
Right across the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of, aren't you excited for all the disappearances?
Yeah, that's something that we need to actually. I'm not educated enough to fucking deal with this, but at the same time, I mean, you have educated me as a friend about the surveillance and the cancer that is surveillance in this country and how it's a turnkey totalitarian state. We're starting to
Yes.
see that key getting turned.
The key has been turned.
The key has been turned.
Mhm.
So, but the video and it's sad that like you can read a thing about a person and see a picture and it doesn't have the same effect on the populace as seeing it actually happen. But watching that,
R.E. Rodney King.
right, right, seeing this young student being accosted by uniformless goons
Yeah,
who are hurrying to put their masks up while they do this.
right.
Whereas this particular president just said that, no illegal protests on college campuses, no masks. Remember, he's like, don't have
Right.
masks.
Yeah, yeah.
So his fucking Gestapo can have,
Well, of course.
yeah, throw their
I
masks
mean,
on
duh.
and just completely they went up to her and they started removing her backpack. They started touching and
Mhm.
and she has no idea what's going on.
Right.
No clue.
Hmm.
And then she's just, I mean, if nobody would have intervened, she'd be in El Salvador or wherever the fuck they put people. Like she's luckily, hopefully, still being sort of held in Louisiana. And the ACLU is involved, thank goodness, for as long as they exist.
Right.
But it is disgusting to see
Hmm.
a student who has every legal right to be here and say what
Hmm.
she's saying.
Yeah. Based
Uh,
on, you know, our Constitution.
yeah, and
Hmm.
yeah, and based on her experience, like
Right.
completely accosted and kidnapped
Yeah.
for no criminal charges, nothing, just. And then Marco fucking Rubio saying, "Well, yeah, we've done this hundreds of times already."
Well, I mean, it's Marco Rubio.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I got the privilege of having. I'm going to be cagey for a reason. I had the privilege of having dinner this last week with an administrator at the place that I work, and this particular administrator uh, knows firsthand what it's like to witness a country fall into authoritarianism,
Oh,
right?
mhm.
And he said something that you and I are not going to be shocked by, but it was a little chilling. He's like he said it's so surprising to see people talk about this as it or talk about where we're at as a country and ask questions like, okay, so what's going to happen? How is this going to go? What's it going to be like when? And he said, what nobody understands is that you are in the middle of it.
Hmm.
And he knows that from firsthand experience.
Hmm.
Like you said, the key has already been turned. Like we're in the middle of that.
Hmm.
It's not, when is it going to start?
No,
It's
it's
already started.
well, and I think the thing, and this is, you've heard me talk about this for a long time. We've been sliding into authoritarianism for 20 years, if not
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I mean, the playbook was enacted a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's not just this current administration. This is the culmination of years and years and years of propaganda
Yeah.
and legislation.
Hmm.
Hmm. Like this is like, well, I just don't understand how this started. That to me, um, I guess my primary response to that is that's obvious.
Yeah. Well, I've seen some, you know, some of the heavy hitter news organizations. You know, there was one article about the Kennedy Center, and there's another article about Social Security, and there's another article about something else, and they're like, what's going to happen to these places? And I said to myself, I said, self, why don't they look backwards? Because we know what's going to happen to
Right.
these
This is
places.
all this has all happened before.
Yeah.
This is not a new thing. This is not like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We already know what's going to happen. Left unchecked.
Yeah.
Mhm. Left unchecked. We already know what's going to happen.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's, I don't know what, I mean, I think that you and I have talked about some beautiful ways of resisting, right? Joy, arts,
Mhm.
continuing to utilize your voice when you can, continuing to participate in demonstration and protest. I think there are, you know, one thing that this you know, retiring administrator, supervisor person, he's like, you know, because he was speaking to me as an artist. He said, you know, continue to write, and I was like, yeah, I will. And he's like, write it down on paper and put it in a drawer.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, do that. And I was like, oh my God. But you know, so there are
Wait,
things we can
what's the
do
significance of the drawer?
because I could store it on the cloud. I could store my
Oh,
subversive, anti-authoritarian artistic words on the cloud,
hmm,
or I can write it down and put it in an analog
yeah.
safe place, hoping that it lasts.
Yeah, that's the and I'm going to say this again, and you've known me long enough to know that I've been saying this for at least 15 years
Hmm.
since people started carrying Blackberries, basically.
Hmm.
Um, and now with the rise of AI, it's even more um, just easier. But imagine, if you will, if you were, well, let's say, for example, hypothetically, that there was going to be a group of people standing on the south side of the state capitol on Tuesday,
Hmm.
um, wearing with signs and things, and you wanted to know who they were
Yep.
and where they lived and what their kids did and what their parents did and what their health records were and if they had any dirt under their fingernails that you could use to exploit them.
Hmm.
Um, you don't even have to put an agent in the group anymore.
Yeah.
You just have to do a search for the people standing right there, ping their phones, get their identities.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's like that to someone
I would
might
say
see.
anybody planning on going to that, leave your phone at home
Yeah.
or take a burner, like in all
Yeah.
seriousness.
Yeah.
Hmm. Like, unless you're going to work or driving your kids to school, get a burner
Hmm. But even
or,
then,
use Signal.
oh my God. But even then, like even leaving your phone. So I thought, okay, maybe I go to that and I leave my phone at home.
Hmm.
And then you know, the facial recognition stuff and
Oh, yeah.
all of
Well,
it.
there's
And
that
it's,
too.
you know what I mean?
Wear a mask.
And so at some point, you gotta stake your worry about the consequences for the sake of the experience or the sake of the the activity, right? That you have to just say, well, I put me on the list then, I guess.
Right. And
I'd rather be known in the annals of history of being on that list than on the other
right.
list.
100%. I'd rather be his whore than your wife.
Right.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, that's real.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, it starts with folks that don't look like us, that are
Hmm.
on here on student visas,
Hmm.
that are saying things, right?
Right.
Students that are easily, that the low-hanging fruit of
Hmm.
revoking, quote unquote, revoking a student visa
It's all
because
just to
they're
see how that goes. It's so easy.
correct.
Hmm.
Like, wow,
That was really easy.
that was really easy. And if we keep making insane amounts of ridiculous stories left and right, that woman who disappeared in a, they're going to forget about that in a week if we ramp up the crazy.
Yeah. Or the tariffs
Yeah. It's
or
like, oh,
whatever. Ramp
yeah,
them
like,
up, revoke them, make everybody. It's just a design to make everybody crazy and tired
mhm.
and forgetful.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. It's, yeah. And these people, these,
And to get into a mode of like, you know what, I'm just curling up in a fetal position and doom scrolling.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's just, it's, you know, I mean, this is the thing though that like is really important for all of us to remember is that I can't allow the othering the ability for somebody to protest in that way. I want that preserved for all Americans. I do. I
Hmm.
really do. I think that that is
I
a
saw
heartbeat.
pictures of a pro Tesla protest today. There were 5 people around a Cybertruck. They absolutely
Good.
have the right to do that. 100%.
Great. Yes. Great. I love that.
Love it.
I really do love that.
Mhm.
If that's the horse that they're going to hitch their wagon to,
They
by
have
all
the right
means.
to do that. Just like
And
we
I
have the right to do that.
right. And
Mhm.
but when our it's just, you know, it watching the Black Lives Matter road get completely torn up in DC. It's
Mhm.
like and for him to make that statement about, you know, illegal protests on college campuses will be blah blah blah. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
Dude, the
if you're
White
the
House tweeted RE, what was the issue? I don't even remember now, but we will find you and we will kill you.
yeah,
I mean, that's from the White House.
yeah, as
So
long
I
as
think
it
it's okay to other a little bit.
yeah, I understand that there no, you're that's
I
a
think
good
it's
point.
okay to other.
It's not what I'm not saying is that I we have to have that there are good people on both sides, right? There are very shitty people
Yeah.
that have zero empathy for, and it is okay to call that out. That's
Hmm.
fascism, that's
Yes.
authoritarianism,
That's
that's a
bad.
cult, that's
Bad.
bad.
Hmm.
Um, when we're talking about the surface level of everybody, but everybody having the opportunity to demonstrate and speak their mind, I think that every walk should do that.
I absolutely.
But when the
There are
government is
consequences.
right,
Hmm.
and when the state is saying that one messaging is right and one messaging is wrong, I mean, I
And if your messaging is wrong, we will find you and we will kill you.
yeah,
I,
and it's
that makes it
so
pretty clear. That's pretty clear.
and it's so clear that people
Those assholes.
well, speaking out against a genocide,
Mm-hmm.
a
Right.
a complete genocide,
Yep. Paid for by the U.S. taxpayers, by the way.
correct, and
Mhm.
you know, with the American flag on
But
the
not the
bombs.
billionaires in the United States. Let's be clear. They're not paying for it. It's us poor saps and you poor saps that are paying for it.
Yeah, and and even if I wasn't paying for it, I wouldn't want to see it happen. So
Well,
there's
right.
this, you know, there's like, and, and so yeah, this is the you know the first gear of let's see how this goes, because if that becomes
This
a
is third
lightning.
gear.
Well, in terms of arresting protesters, right? Yeah,
Oh,
maybe it is
sure.
third gear. But
Hmm.
like, let's see how that goes so that we can politicize and make that an us against them. So
Hmm.
anybody who is protesting in that way, we have a precedent
Hmm.
of they're wrong, they're bad.
Bad.
Like if you're pro-Palestinian, all of a sudden you can be
Bad.
disappeared, which is
Right.
total fucking bullshit in my mind.
In my mind, too.
I mean,
Hmm.
I'll say it. I mean, come and
Yeah.
get me. At this point, like, yeah, it's just really, really,
How do you
it's
feel about hard labor?
I don't I know I wouldn't jail well. I knew that a long time ago when
Uh-huh.
I was participating in more illegal shit than I am now. I
Uh-huh.
knew that I wouldn't jail well. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't Guantanamo well either.
Yeah.
So,
I
you
don't know.
know,
Do the inmates play poker?
I don't think
What are
so.
the card games?
In El Salvador, I don't think there's a
Oh,
lot of
there's
fun.
not a lot of card games in
There's
El
not a lot of
Salvador.
fun.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
No, I think you get
Spend a lot
the
of time
best.
bent over, like shackled and.
Yeah, your best opportunity is finding an opening so you can run towards the fence and be gunned down. I
Yeah, I
think
think you're
that's the
right.
hope,
Yeah,
right?
that's the
That's
hope.
the
Yeah.
hope.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Quick death.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So that's, I mean, yeah, we're, yeah, we're in the middle of it.
You know, I've never been shot. I understand it hurts a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, I don't like a hangnail. I can't imagine getting shot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a
This kind
hangnail
of
really.
hurts. This is
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah.
Ow.
I have to put one of those. I was gifted, which I use damn near daily. I was gifted these little like they're like heating pads, that you pull, cookie sheets out of the oven with, but
Oh yeah.
they're sewn in a way that is rounded so it'll fit a bowl. So
Uh-huh.
if I have hot oatmeal or even cold cereal, I use that so it's not
Oh.
too the temperature isn't too much
Well,
for
that's a
my
good. I
sensitive
just put it
hands.
inside another bowl.
Yeah,
I do that.
yeah,
I mean, that's
okay.
legit. If I microwave soup or something, like I put the hot bowl inside of a not hot bowl.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So needless to say, I don't think I would Guantanamo well.
Yeah. You get used to anything.
Yeah, this is
Did you see the Mark Maron bit about he's like, I'm sure there were a lot of funny people in Auschwitz. It's all Jews.
oh my God. Yeah,
Hey,
gallows humor.
I was performing outside of the showers tonight. You gonna go down?
Oh boy.
That's from Maron. Like I feel
Yeah,
like I
yes. He's so good at that.
uh-huh. A lot of funny Jews in Auschwitz.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Man, it's
Well, I
just
mean,
dead. This is like it's we've said it before, but this is the dumbest decline into
it is. It's just beyond. I want.
yeah.
And I. Yeah. I really wonder if like the fall of Rome was this stupid. Like,
No.
were they that dumb?
No.
I love that. What's his fuck? Vance and his wife went to Greenland, and they basically ignored him.
Yeah,
And
he
he just
didn't
turned
even
around and
set
went. He just turned around and went home because people were like, "What?
yeah, they were yeah, they
Get
had
the
all
fuck
these
out of
things
here!
planned. They were like his wife was going to go to these different places and they're basically like no. We don't what no. Why
We
would
don't
we
want you
want
here.
yeah.
Get out of here."
Yeah, he stayed on the Air Force Base for and they it was originally just going to be his wife and then they saw how much backlash there was so they sent JD thinking that was going to help and it was like
Everybody
he
hates that guy.
and they yeah, he's a fucking meme at this point. He's
He is.
not
Yeah.
and so
Remember, you might be too young to remember Dan Quayle. Do you
I
remember
remember
Dan
Dan
Quayle?
Quayle and the fact that he didn't know how to spell tomatoes.
Potato or whatever.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, he was just like this. He was a meme for being invisible,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
long for those days,
Yeah. Yeah.
for being completely ineffective and just pointless.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I think it was you that shared it. Like JD Vance is the Timu version of Zelensky.
Hmm. I almost shot coffee out of my nose on that. Like, oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh, and yet,
Can't somebody just give him a couch to fuck? I mean,
oh, he's got plenty of couches to
yeah, I'm
fuck,
sure. Yeah.
right? And the vice president offices have
Lovely
lovely
couches.
furniture
I
for
wonder if
him.
they put, the plastic wraps over.
But if you lube that up well enough, it's even a better time for
Well,
him, I'm
it's easier to
sure.
clean. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Like the
Hmm.
housekeeping staff, like we're wrapping that in plastic.
Yeah, just some 409 and paper towels. They
Just
don't have to
everywhere.
reupholster everything every day.
Did the White House get a jizz mopper?
Well, we found the title of this episode.
Thank you, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith for that one.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to expatriate. I actually did some research on that, and now I'm probably on some other list, but I did a little research on that this week.
Where are you gonna go?
Well, that's the
You
thing,
can
is
whisper it to me.
who the fuck wants us?
Nobody.
I thought about, okay, it was like, well, as far as like lifestyle goes, Canada makes sense.
Mhm.
Canada just unceremoniously said,
We're done.
we're done.
They quit
Canada,
us. They quit us.
the nicest fucking people.
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, they quit us.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
done. This sucks, but we're done.
Yeah. It's been 200 years. It's been great, but
They've got to have these
well, it's
little,
like it's like a healthy person breaking up with somebody that started using meth.
yeah, like
Like
we've,
you're so unpredictable and insane and corrupt.
yep,
We're done with you.
yeah,
It's not even, we're not going to counseling. We're just
no,
done.
we're done.
Maybe, and just like somebody, a person that started using meth, it's like, even if you stop using, it's going to be at least 5 years before we will even let you in the house.
Yeah, you know, it's like in the secret rooms in the men's process. Like
Hmm.
you can say you're sorry. Like
Right.
let's say hypothetically, you know, that whole administration is impeached and removed, right? And then we have
Wouldn't that be
right.
nice?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But it's not like, okay, we're good, right? Everybody, we're good.
We're
Everything's
good.
good. Everything's fine.
Cool. Can we have all the stuff back? Can we get all the privileges
Yeah, we'd like everybody's
just to kind of
lines.
forget about that little faux pas?
Yeah, we're good, right? No.
It's going to be at least 5 years.
Yeah, you're gonna need to live differently for a while, and then we'll see if we give you the keys to the house.
Or even let you come over for visitation.
Right.
Hmm.
So that's the thing. It's like, well, yeah, there are ways to be an expat, but it's not, it's just like is it gonna get to the point of like we need to be like political and like conflict refugees? We have to wait for that sort of status?
Maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe for the rest of the world to take pity on us.
Yeah. That's gonna be a while though.
Oh, yeah,
You
100%.
know, we're still the richest country in the world, and
For now.
for now.
Well, I don't mean China.
Yeah, man.
China's actually doing things like investing in science and infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
and education.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not the
Horrible.
best. Yeah, they're horrible and they're kicking our ass.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this American exceptionalism thing is if you're still hanging on to that, man, whoo, that's a big stretch. The only
I
thing we're
have
number one in is incarcerating our own population.
yeah, I don't know. It'd be
Our
interesting to
infrastructure's crumbling. Our democracy's dead, or at least on life support. You know,
yeah. I'm
I don't.
my initial I mean, it's so interesting though how when we bring this stuff up, I'm just like noticing some old tapes that play of like, well, if enough Republican Trump supporters, and I make that very specific because not all Republicans are Trump supporters, but if those folks defect, then maybe we can. It's like, but that's still putting faith in a democratic republic that is like being chipped away at every day.
No, it's not. It's been the corporations own the government.
Yeah.
Corporations own the government. Hence the reason why the Democrats have done. Do you hear the crickets chirping?
Yeah. Right.
They've done
And
nothing. They've done nothing substantive to prevent any of this shit from happening.
and they've even capitulated here and there.
This is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. So, Frank Zappa said it best many moons ago. Politics is just the entertainment division of the military industrial complex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just to keep us distracted and
Mm-hmm.
all upset about. Well, I'm sorry, what were we upset about? And meanwhile, the coffers are just getting raided and we're getting fucked.
Mm.
That's what it all comes down to is that the richest people in the world are going to take everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's
Bill Hicks. I love Bill Hicks. He said, it's not that there aren't enough resources. There's plenty of resources. The issue is that all of those resources are controlled by greedy psychopaths.
yeah, that's clear.
Mhm. And since the greedy psychopaths own media companies, they can convince not quite half of a nation to act against their own best interests.
Mm.
There's a kid died of measles, a toddler died of measles in Texas,
Yeah.
and the
And the
parents
parents
were
were
like,
like,
"Well, I guess we just did Jesus." I mean, that was the response.
yeah,
Kid's in a better place now. Now you tell me, somebody justify that.
that's
Anybody? That's an
and
open
that
challenge.
and that's the problem though, right? Like that's one of the main heartbeats of this whole thing is that when a political ideology can co-opt a faith, then you can play to somebody's personal identity and emotions like a fucking piano.
Yeah. Well,
And
well.
it's
Hey, one issue voting.
exactly.
Hmm.
It's a player
That's
piano. You just put the card in and plug it
Yep.
in and it plays the tune you want it to play. There's
Yep.
no,
Yep.
it doesn't,
I noticed I saw a one issue voter person that also has kids in my kid's school unfriended me on Facebook.
yeah,
I'm like, oh well.
good riddance.
Well, pretty much, yeah. But I mean, like that then and this person like a couple 3 years ago maybe tried to kind of backpedal on Trump a little bit.
Hmm.
Like not in a like, gosh, I really like had they said something to the effect of, you know, I just got caught up and I realized that so many of my beliefs were hinging upon things that were just cruel.
Yeah.
And because I was all caught up in this, you know, well, her emails
Hmm.
and abortion and but I just didn't see how horrible what some of the policies and actions were of Donald Trump. And I regret that vote like so much. I wish that I could go back and, just like actually it was more of a, well, gosh, I didn't, and I was like, yeah, I've known about him for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, bygones. Like, no, fuck you.
Did nobody research just the shitty show of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous where Donald Trump was on every other episode being a complete slime ball?
Yeah. I mean, when I first heard of Donald Trump was in the cartoon Bloom County in the mid 1980s when I was a kid. Because
Yeah.
Berkeley Breathed was making fun of Donald Trump back then.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
like since I was probably 12, I've thought Donald Trump was a douche
yeah.
and a joke,
I think that I think there's something pretty profound too about that. Like it's so hard, and this is a human quality, not necessarily a quality of somebody's particular chosen team, of saying, yeah, I really got sucked in and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I really got sucked in. It was like an addiction and I didn't
Hmm.
know where to go and I felt very safe. And it makes me think of there's an elder in our recovery community um, who I recall very early on in my journey would say things like when go to him with something or it'd be a topic at a meeting and he would say the words, all right, where's the fear?
Right.
Where's the fear?
Yeah.
Because we can deal with all of these things, but like that's a lightning rod for anyone. Or what are you
Hmm.
afraid of?
Right.
What's the fear? And it's like, well, if I don't, then he's gonna, and that, then I don't, then I have to like think outside the box. And that's true for anybody's clutched beliefs is like, okay, what are you afraid of if you
Hmm.
let go of that? What are you afraid of if you, and that just takes a level of critical thinking. And no wonder they're decimating education because that's where critical,
Well, of
and
course.
this project I'm working on in my class,
For
I
now.
for now is, we have to do this big thing. We have to do this big public facing thing, whether it's a piece of performance or whether it's a symposium or whether it's just a poetry. I don't know what it's going to be. I let the students decide this. We dealt with small groups of like local problems on the campus, parking, the cafeteria, RAs not having any power to fix the heat or whatever. And they all agreed that those were issues. And I said, okay, what's a bigger problem in this country? And they listed all the things. And I was like, guys, and I went back the next class and I was like, okay, they put things on there like insurance, divisiveness, healthcare, gender issues, all the big ticket items. And I said, okay, we wrote these down the other day. Are these all, were you guys giving me lip service because you thought these were the problems that I wanted to hear about? Or were these actual problems that you care about? And to a man and woman in that class, they were all like, yes, we believe in these are issues. And not once did we bring up partisan politics. And I guarantee you that not everybody in that 20-person class votes the same way.
Right.
But they all agreed that those were issues. And I said, this is the point of a liberal arts critical thinking education, is that you can look at these things without attaching your identity and beliefs to them, and talk about ways to improve them, right? Without getting, I've got to put on my Cubs hat and root for the Cubs against the Cardinals or whatever. You know what I mean? Anyway, this is like some last gasp hope of mine, to just be like, okay, it's possible with these small group of people. What can I do? I can do
Mhm.
this with these
Right.
kids,
Yeah,
these students, and
that's
say,
real.
like,
Mhm.
these are problems. Yeah, we all agree. We all agree. I think that everybody, no matter who you vote for, the potholes in Lincoln are a pain in the ass.
Mhm.
Can we deal with the potholes in Lincoln together? Can we come together to get those filled somehow? Insurance sucks. Can we come together? You know what I mean? Like, and there's bigger monsters at play, but at least a group of students can start. Maybe I can get one sliver of light in there to say,
Maybe.
these are not, these are problems. Not all problems are partisan problems. All problems are human problems, and we can, policy and politics are how we arrange ourselves around these issues.
In a functioning democracy.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
now.
Mhm. That was, I talked about this when we got back from Puerto Rico, but like that was, my kids were just gobsmacked at the idea that a cafe, there wasn't a ton of people, but somebody overheard us talking about the electrical situation because the power had just gone out on the entire fucking island 48 hours earlier.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And there was just a discussion.
Mm.
It was just a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't turn into fuck you, because it's
Right.
very, very, very charged issue, pun not intended. But I mean the elect and this is Americans listening to this, the electricity got privatized a few years ago because funding had been cut to the government ran public service electric company, so it got privatized by a company that's based in Canada that does not give a fuck about whether or not Puerto Rico has electricity. They
Right.
care about maximizing shareholder value.
Right.
They
Yeah.
couldn't care less, actually, if the island has power or not. And so that's just a little foreshadowing
Right.
here as we gut every service in the United States.
The postal service.
Yeah,
The privatization of, at the very bottom rung of the, and not that it's a bottom rung, but the postal service.
right. Yeah, which is not supposed to make a profit. That's like
No.
demanding that fire departments make a profit.
And that's coming too.
Right. I mean, that's that playbook. And Noam Chomsky talked about this for years. And I love listening to Noam Chomsky talk because he's almost bored with it.
Yeah.
Like, this is so just obvious. You defund it, you bitch about how it doesn't work, and then you privatize it and profit
Yeah, because
at the expense of all of the customers.
those the CEOs of these private companies that are trying to do the same thing as these other organizations are just walking back and forth in their huge corner offices trying to figure out, how do we steal tax dollars? I mean, we
Yeah.
get tax breaks, but
Right. How do we
how do we get
steal the rest of it?
how do we get the
We haven't
rest of
paid taxes in like 20 years, but how
Yeah.
do we get the rest of it?
So we privatize it, and then we make everybody pay into it,
Uh-huh. And I
and,
get another
and
$100
I
billion
get it.
dollars. Yeah. That's literally like, it's not a mystery. There's no big secret. It's right there. It's in the open. Citibank put out a memo 15 years ago, 20 years ago now, saying that the biggest problem to their profitability was democracy.
Yeah.
Like, it's all why it's in 50-foot high flaming letters. And people are like, I just don't know how this is happening.
But maybe it'll work better. It's like,
It will not
no,
work better.
it will not work better.
No.
And that's part of the justification for ruining everything at the top and the
Yeah,
government, right?
100%. Oh, that's literally all of the chaos and all of it's not an accident. I mean, Trump's a buffoon, but he's a rodeo clown.
Right.
He's just a rodeo clown. He's the guy in the barrel going, "Ah!" Right?
Yeah.
And then he's got Timu Zelensky. Vance
Yeah.
going, look at, hey, I'm standing by the rodeo clown.
Yeah. Yeah.
And meanwhile, Musk is stealing everything.
Yeah.
And
Ruining everything so that there is this like, well, okay, everything is broken, so maybe I do want some of those accoutrements back.
yeah,
I guess if they're privatized, at least I can get my Social Security check that has been gutted, or at least I can get the mail. I can send a fucking Christmas card to my grandchild, through this privatized postal thing. They ruined it, but I
yeah, but
still
here's the
want it.
thing. You said grandchild, so that implies grandparents. And if Medicaid's got it, they ain't gonna live.
No. And it's like straight out of Dickens, right? It's
Yeah,
Scrooge. It's like, well, then
yeah.
let them die and decrease the surplus
Well, or in the
population.
case of Deb Fisher, let them eat canned food. That was literally her response to the food cuts, the food aid
The
cuts.
food bank stuff.
Yeah, food bank cuts. Yeah, it's like, well, you can live off of canned food. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if you don't make enough money, you don't deserve fresh fruits and vegetables.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, duh. Let alone health care or mental health care.
No, that's for the elite.
Yeah. Well, I mean, $11 billion cut from mental health. That's gonna make when Reagan released all the, shut down all the mental hospitals, creating our homeless problem.
Right.
Um, you think the tent cities like that we saw in Kansas City or whatever,
Yep.
that's gonna get better?
Right.
Nope.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that I mean, this is not surprising, but the double speak of, well, that lone gunman shooter in King Supers in Colorado, he's a real it's a mental health problem.
It's a mental health
It's a
problem.
there's
It's not
nothing
a
we can
gun
do.
problem.
It's not a gun problem.
It's a mental health
It's a
problem.
mental health problem. So let's ruin mental health.
Right.
Let's ruin any opportunity for those folks to actually get help.
Right. For America. For Jesus. That's how Jesus would want it.
Even better for Elon Musk.
At this point, why the fuck not?
Yeah, speaking of like just anecdotal videos and to throw into the mosaic of bullshit that we've discussed thus far.
That's our tagline.
Mosaic of bullshit, right?
Yep.
Somebody's got to.
I'm writing it down right now. Since our in
Stacy, will you write this down? We've had an assistant this whole time. She does nothing.
Yeah, she just looks at us like, are you guys still talking?
A video I saw, I think their handle is like the Good Liars. They're the folks that go to like rallies and interview
Oh yeah.
supporters of,
They're
right.
great.
They did
Just
this one, and
watching the cognitive dissonance.
this is the best one. And it was literally like 7 seconds. Like sometimes their videos are longer. This was right to the point. They had this couple there, and they said this very, pro-Trump, probably late 20s, early 30s, young couple there. And they asked them, so would you allow Jesus to enter the United States and immigrate to the United States? And their response was, yeah, if he was legal. Like if he was legal.
Right.
If their own fucking savior
Right.
could pass the legal test, then
Right.
they would. It's like, do you not hear it? Do you hear it yet?
Nope.
You don't hear it yet. You don't get it. And so the guys they just started guffawing, and the husband just sort of, escorted his wife away from the interview, just like, oh, we gotta go. And it was like, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, they've gotten so far away from the point. So that's a whole other deal. The coffee's working though.
I can tell, man. You kind of came alive.
Yeah.
Must be
Yeah.
the cup.
It's the cup, dude. It's the Yeti. It's nice and hot in there.
Yeti cup.
It's the
Mhm.
vacuum sealed top, the magnetic closer, the way it feels in my hand. I'm starting to talk like what's his name from American Psycho about business cards. I got the dark gunmetal gray. It feels it's got a nice matte finish.
You
I
want to
like
see
the
something?
oh no.
No, 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 no. Right here.
Steve is holding up his business card that is literally just his name and his phone number.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. I actually, and this is you all can just laugh at me, but this is the truth. I'll tell you. Here's is me being vulnerable.
Let's do it.
I was
Finally.
what I was what It's from Ocean's 11, Daniel Ocean.
Oh yeah, nice.
Hands the business card.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my whatever personality role models.
Hmm. Daniel
That,
Ocean or
yeah, that
George Clooney?
character.
Oh,
Both actually.
yeah, sure.
Mhm. Daniel Ocean is the personality role model, and George Clooney is just a role model.
I think Brad Pitt's character in the Ocean movies is what I want to be. Just always kind of eating something,
Yeah.
making weird comments,
Yeah,
always cleaning his hands from the chicken wing he just
yeah.
ate.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
They're all pretty cool. Hell, I want to be Lyman Zerga.
Yeah.
Mhm. And if I'm feeling bloody minded, Andy Garcia.
I really want to be Casey Affleck's character when they when they plant him down in Mexico to like
Uh,
and he just gets totally
Wait, that's
invested
not
in
Ocean's 11.
that is Ocean's 11. It's not oh it's one of the Ocean's
Yeah,
movies.
okay.
Ocean's 12, Ocean's
Maybe.
72.
Right. I don't remember that.
I
Sorry.
think it might be the second one because they need to make the magnetic dice. And there's a factory in Mexico that makes it and he has to shut it down. And so they send Casey Affleck down there and he starts a revolution with all the workers to shut down the plant.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
good.
he just like he totally gets into this role. Like he's just
Yeah.
like Viva la revolucion, like yeah.
We're I think bumping up against our hour, but I have been. I
Holy
gotta go.
shit.
I
We
got.
did it.
I know.
I just want to say, never miss a Sunday show. I mean,
That's
we can
right.
just show up
Just
and
show up.
let it rip.
Let it rip.
I was like walking downstairs like
God damn it!
I have
Gotta
nothing today.
talk.
Steve's gonna have to carry this one. I got
Yeah, I
nothing.
didn't. Well, I didn't either. So there you have it. And I think the evidence shows that neither of us had anything.
We had nothing. We are greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, group mind, man.
Yep. I'm sorry, you were saying something.
Oh, Better Call Saul.
Mm.
Best,
Oh,
best. I've been watching Better Call Saul clips. Mike Ehrmantraut, forget about it. Amazing.
the the heartbreak at the end of that season or the end of
Mhm.
that series.
It's so intense.
It's really sad.
It's really sad. Yeah, it's hard to watch.
And somehow they made it so that you still kind of care about Saul Goodman,
Yeah,
whereas
ish.
at the end of Breaking Bad, I
Nope.
do not care about
Walter White.
Walter
Yeah,
White at all.
yeah. Bad man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And did I tell you, like after Better Call Saul wrapped, I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch Breaking Bad. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I wanna, and I made it halfway through season 2, and I was like,
Yeah.
nope,
I
I
saw
can't
a
do this.
thing recently that said, all of Breaking Bad wouldn't need to have happened if we had a functional healthcare system.
Yeah, it would have just been nipped in the bud.
Yeah,
Like,
he just would have gotten his cancer treated and it would have been fine.
yeah. And I mean, even staying within the shitty healthcare system, if he wouldn't have had the pride to not accept help from his former business
Well,
partners.
there is that too, but I understand that.
I get that. Yes.
I
Yes.
totally get that. Can't fuck you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we had a healthcare system that almost every other industrialized nation in the world has, he just would have gone and gotten treated.
Hmm. Like, okay, you can't afford it. You may not
Well,
be at the front of the list, but
it
we're going to
might,
get
but
you.
it's not even a matter of you can't afford it.
There's nothing to afford.
That's what I'm saying.
You've already paid for it.
You've already paid for it. You have paid for your health care.
Ugh, it opens up so many other cans of worms.
That's what I'm saying. But I thought, I was laughing at it, but then I thought, shit.
Yeah.
I'm also excited to see the decline of, how many rural hospitals close in Nebraska in the next 4 years or so,
Yeah.
with all the funding being cut and farmers getting screwed. because
Yeah, it's gonna be.
we're kind of an agricultural state, and most rural hospitals are already operating in the red.
I will say, having lived, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the Nebraska farmer. I know better than that. I did, but I have lived in those rural areas, and what I will say is that the ability to have the family farm and do that could be stronger than their allegiance to their dear leader.
Oh, I'm not saying we didn't do it to ourselves.
I'm just saying that when the shit goes down and they realize that
Oh,
they're
oh,
actually
oh,
getting fucked,
yeah.
there is
But it's the thing is, it might be too late.
it might be too late. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. The goose is cooked.
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
of
I mean,
goose.
there was an article in, was it the Atlantic? I don't remember, where basically this. I mean, and this was I had a moment of like, okay, this is like a New York liberal elite telling Nebraska farmers, you deserve this. You asked for
Oh,
this.
yeah.
And I was like,
Maybe not. Maybe not.
you're not wrong, but you're also talking out of school
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit. Like
And you're
you're literally the stereotype that got us here.
yep. Hmm.
So you see, I had a little empathy. I didn't completely
You did. You
I
did.
didn't leak. You see what I'm saying?
I will give you
I'm
that.
patting
Yep.
myself on the back right now.
Yep. Yep. You
I
deserve
had a
that.
moment of like, nah, that's you need to be quiet.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah. Oh,
helping
even if
anything.
even if yeah, you're not helping anything. In fact, like
Because the attitude of the piece was very snarky and just shitty. Not that
and
I've
he
ever been guilty of that.
no. But you had this writer had an opportunity to speak to those folks with this
And blew
message
it.
and blew it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Hmm. So there. We'll just throw that in the mosaic of bullshit.
The mosaic of bullshit.
Hmm.
What's coming up? What's going on? What are you doing any what's happening?
Um, actually, I not right now. I'm really boring.
Nice.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Boring's nice. What are you listening to that's off the map?
What have I been listening to? Well, I've been listening to some Flaming Lips
Oh, nice. Yeah.
that you sent me the thing, and then this morning, um, one of my daughters. I was hanging out with my daughters, and she's been listening to the soundtrack of Heathers the musical,
Oh, I'm familiar.
which is I'm like, as a parent, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna let this one go. I'm gonna let it go. There was one
Yeah.
song I just said, well, that sounded like high school.
Yeah. Yeah. We did Heathers a few years ago at the school that I work
Oh,
at. And
really?
yeah, it was
The
like, oh,
musical or like,
the musical.
oh,
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
That
Well,
song,
yeah.
Big Fun. I was like,
Big fun.
I know that. Like, I know that kids' earmuffs. I'm familiar with that situation.
Ew, Dad, no.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I thought I would say I'm into the new Goose tracks that are being released, but I'm giving it a minute. I'm gonna let that one settle for a minute. Um
The internet has been on fire with shitty goose
those
memes the
poor
last
guys.
week.
Yeah.
I mean, just like they are not catching a break.
No, look, just do some redditing about Goose and you'll find some fun. I am
Oh
I
my
am
God.
into the new My Morning Jacket album right now.
Oh, I
And
didn't know there was one.
yeah, they cut a new and it's like it's one of those where uh a lot like a lot of my favorite bands, like I gotta listen to the album front to back and then again and again, and I'm kind of like, oh, because yeah, their music is so lovely and great. I
Mhm.
love My Morning Jacket. They're gonna be in Kansas City here soonish, I
That's
think. I'd like to
interesting.
go see them, but
Oh, speaking of, I am going to see Bob Dylan on Tuesday at the Orpheum.
where's he playing?
The Orpheum,
Bob Dylan in Omaha at the
Omaha,
Orpheum?
Nebraska, at the Orpheum. Yeah, Rough and Rowdy Ways tour. Hmm.
Holy
So
shit.
I think that's probably. I think this will be my. I was trying to figure it out. I think this will be my eighth time seeing him.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
apparently he's on fire. He's 84 years old and has received some favorable reviews. And so I'm.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of a. You don't go to see Bob Dylan to be quote Holly like Broadway entertained. That's not
No,
what's
no,
happening.
no,
He
no.
couldn't care less whether I'm entertained or not.
But you also don't go there as like it's not necessarily a legacy thing either. It's not like,
No,
well,
no, it's
you know
not.
what I
It's
mean?
very no. He's not a nostalgia act.
No.
That's the thing about Bob Dylan
And I
is
think
that
Willie
he's still
Nelson
just
does
working it out,
Yeah, Willie Nelson is the same way. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, he's still going
making
after
music.
something.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
he's still going after
And
something.
Dylan, like that was what the reviews that I've read are people like he's every night things are arranged a little differently. Like he does not like he still throws his band curveballs.
Nice.
Hmm. And it's like we're doing it this way tonight. Hmm.
I was looking at I saw that the Dark Star Orchestra is playing in Des Moines in May.
At the Val Air,
Yeah.
that'll be great.
I thought
That'll be
about
great.
maybe doing it.
You
I'm thinking
should.
about the
They're so
weird thing
great.
is I got to be back at commencement by like 2 p.m. the next day.
Totally worth it.
Yeah, I might do it.
Sleep in, get back here at noon, drive down.
Yeah.
I might, we'll see. I might be interested in doing that because that
Yeah.
will be fun. The Val Air is cool.
I don't
And
even know what that is. Is it outside?
it's no. It's an old, it's kind of like a bigger version of the Playmore Ballroom.
Oh, okay.
But like the history of that place is extensive. And it, got all decrepit and then somebody bought it and it's been
Hmm.
turning it back into its maybe not former glory, but at least a more modern
Hmm.
club thing.
It's
So the
kind of like that.
Valaire's it's read about the Valaire. It's interesting.
I'll check it out. It reminds me of when I was in Chicago and went to the Salt Shed. You ever been to the Salt Shed in Chicago?
No, that was never a storied venue. That was a salt shed.
That was a fucking salt shed that they
They got
turned into
turned
an
into a venue.
amazing fucking venue.
Yeah.
So that place is fucking cool.
But I mean,
Highly
you've been to
recommend.
the Playmore, haven't you?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So picture the Playmore only 50% bigger and like modernized. It's got very much that vibe.
Nice.
Cool place.
Cool.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I might be down for a little road trip. You'll see. Go hang out
I've
with
not
them.
seen them. It's
Oh,
like
they're great.
I gotta do it.
When they were at the Astro last year, they were so good. I mean, they've played more Grateful Dead concerts than the Grateful Dead have.
I know.
You know,
That's wild.
they're great. Mhm. A lot of fun.
All right. Well, I love you, man. I'm
Love you
glad we
too.
do this. This
I'm
is
glad we do this too. It's good. It gives me, not hope,
no hope.
no hope, no optimism, but at least something to look forward to.
There is hope, but not for us.
Hey, let's not forget, we are white men in America.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's not going to be too bad.
Not yet.
But we are dissenters, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna hide behind that demographic to save my butt.
right.
I'm not gonna do it.
Me either.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, kids.
Sorry.
The old man's going up against the wall. But I do have life insurance, so
Yeah.
know.
For now.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
love
if
you
everything tanks, I mean, what's there to insure? Anyway,
Yeah.
I know, dude. I know. I'm like,
Can we talk
retirement?
about global warming?
Yeah, let's open up that shit box.
It's entirely possible that none of this matters. Whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Well, this has been great.
It's been great.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Bye.
Don't forget, toot your hooter.